The world of gods and men never stands still. Everything that is born must one day die. And even Loki's laughter, once the brightest in Asgard, has long since turned into an echo of fate. His children are no coincidence. They are the reflection of the same chaos from which the world itself was born. Forces born between fire and ice, between life and death. Today, we tell the story of Loki's children, those destined to play the leading roles in the gods' final battle, Ragnarök. In one of our previous episodes, we spoke about one of the strangest and most mysterious tales in Norse mythology, the birth of Sleipnir, Odin's eight-legged horse. He was no ordinary steed. His hooves touched the earth, the air, and even the hidden worlds beneath Yggdrasil's roots. He could run across the sky, over the sea, and through the shadows, faster than the wind, faster than thought. No other being possessed such power, for his origin lay beyond the realm of gods. Gleipnir was born of Loki, who once transformed into a mare to deceive a giant builder. Thus Loki, the god of trickery and shapeshifting, became a mother. From this deception came one who would later become Odin's loyal companion, the ruler of Asgard. Even then, Loki revealed his dual nature. He created and destroyed, aided the gods, and at the same time pushed them toward their destiny. If you missed that legend, you can find it on our channel, a story of how strength is born from deceit and order from chaos. But Loki fathered not only allies of the gods. In ancient sagas, he is known as the father of all witches, those who could change shape, foresee the future, and whisper spells in the dark. According to the ancient song of Hyndla, Loki became the parent of witches after eating the half-burnt heart of an evil sorceress, thus giving rise to the very gift of shapeshifting, the ancient art of satyr. This secret knowledge later passed to the gods and to the gracious Freya, the most powerful sorceress in Asgard, who mastered satyr and could see the future. From Loki's lineage and his magic came a unique kind of sorcery, one tied to transformation, prophecy, and the bending of fate itself. Among northern shamans and witches, Loki was revered as the ancestor of all magical beings, those who could see destinies and alter reality. His shifting nature showed that the boundaries between good and evil, between forms and even between worlds, are blurred for those who are initiated. This gift of change and magic became Loki's greatest legacy, and in mythology, witches were seen as direct descendants of his power and spirit. Loki was married to Sigyn, a lesser-known goddess who embodied loyalty and patience. Unlike her husband, whose life was full of trickery and deceit, Sigyn remained by his side through every trial and exile. Her calm devotion made her a symbol of steadfast love and support in times of hardship. Loki and Sigyn had two sons, Narvi and Váli. Their fate became entwined with the tragic events that followed the death of Baldur, the most beloved of the Aesir. When the gods discovered that Loki had orchestrated Baldur's death, they condemned him to a brutal punishment in which his own sons played a cruel role. We spoke about this legend in a previous episode. Váli was transformed into a wolf, and in the madness of the beast, he tore apart his brother Narvi. From Narvi's entrails, the gods made cords, and from his bones, chains to bind Loki to the rocks in a deep cave. Above Loki's head, they hung a venomous serpent whose poison dripped ceaselessly onto his face, causing unbearable pain. Sigyn stood beside him, catching the venom in a bowl to ease his torment. Yet whenever she had to empty it, the poison fell upon Loki, making him writhe in agony. According to legend, Loki's convulsions and cries are what cause earthquakes in the world of men. But not all of Loki's children were human. Among them was a beast feared even by the gods themselves, Fenrir. The great wolf, son of Loki and the giantess Angerboda, was born in the ironwood. His teeth were like spears, and his breath carried the storm's wind. When the gods learned who his father was, they were afraid. But Tyr, the god of war, dared to care for the wolf, to feed him and earn his trust. Yet Fenrir grew larger each day. The gods decided to bind him. The first chain, Leding, broke. The second, Dromi, broke as well. Then they turned to the dwarves, the master smiths of the underworld. They forged a third chain, Gleipnir, woven from 6 things that do not exist: the sound of a cat's footsteps, a woman's beard, the roots of mountains, the breath of a fish, the spittle of a bird, and the light of the moon. Fenrir did not believe them. He demanded that one of the gods place a hand in his jaws as a sign of trust. Tyr agreed. When the chain tightened and Fenrir realized he had been deceived, he bit off Tyr's hand. From that day, Tyr became known as the one-handed god. They say that one day, during Ragnarök, Fenrir will break free and devour the sun. But that is a tale for another time. Loki's second son, Jormungandr, the World Serpent, holds a special place in Norse myth. His mother, the giantess Angerboda, was also the mother of Fenrir and Hel. Fearing the serpent's power even as a newborn, the gods delivered him to Odin. The All-Father, fearing for the world's safety, cast the child into the ocean that encircles Midgard. There, in the dark waters, Jormungandr grew. He grew so vast that he could encircle all of Midgard and grasp his own tail, forming the symbol of the world's ring, eternity, and balance between chaos and order. His scales whispered like storms, and the mist upon the sea was said to be his breath. Some legends say that when he stirs beneath the waves, storms rise, and fishermen hear the deep roar of a giant beneath their boats. Tales of Jormungandr appear throughout the sagas and the Eddas. He is the sworn enemy of Thor, and their enmity forms one of the central themes of Norse myth. The most famous story tells of Thor's fishing trip. The thunder god caught the World Serpent on a massive hook, and their struggle nearly ended the world. But their final battle lies ahead, on the day of Ragnarök, when Jormungandr will rise from the depths, and Thor will face him in a deadly duel. Though Thor will strike the serpent down, he will take only 9 steps before collapsing, poisoned by the beast's venom. For now, Jormungandr sleeps in the depths of the world's waters. Only the most sensitive creatures can feel his movements, and no one knows when the ancient power will awaken or whose world it will destroy. The third child of Loki, Hel, carries an air of dark majesty and solemn sorrow. She too was born of Loki and the giantess Angerboda, like her brothers Fenrir and Jormungandr. Hel's defining trait was her dual nature. One half of her body was beautiful and alive, the other pale as a corpse, sometimes bluish-black, sometimes decayed. When the gods beheld her, they were terrified, seeing in her form the omen of the underworld. Odin cast her down into the realm beneath the earth, to Helheim, the shadowy domain beneath Yggdrasil's roots. There she became the ruler of the dead, those who did not die in battle, the old, the sick, the forgotten, and the unloved. Her realm did not torture souls, but neither did it bring them joy. Hel stood between existence and nothingness, a place without laughter or pain, where time no longer mattered. In Norse myth, Hel embodies the cosmic balance between life and death. She is no villain. Her coldness and detachment are the necessary end of all things, representing peace after struggle. After Baldur's death, it was Hel who decided his fate. She decreed that he could return only if every being in the world wept for him. When one refused, Baldur remained in her realm, proving Hel's authority over the inevitability of death. In runes and poems, Hel serves as a reminder that death can be not terror, but peace, the final rest after the storm. Her kingdom is not a curse, but another dimension of balance, where there is no suffering, only silence and acceptance. Each of Loki's children symbolizes a part of the world's end: Fenrir, the destruction of power and pride; Jormungandr, the eternal cycle, where beginning and end are one; Hel, the quiet peace that follows chaos. Together, they are not evil, they are destiny fulfilled. When Fenrir's chains break, when the sea rises with the serpent's movement, when Hel's gates open, then Ragnarök will begin, and Loki's children will walk into the arena of the final battle. They say that even now, the ice of Niflheim cracks louder than before. The waves rise higher. People hear strange groans beneath the earth, as if something is moving in its chains. Maybe it's just the wind, or maybe it's the breath of one who waits. When the day of Ragnarök comes, the world will tremble. But even then, after darkness, a new light will emerge. For in Norse myth, the end is not destruction, it is renewal. And perhaps, among the ashes of a new world, laughter will be heard once more. The laughter of Loki.
If you enjoyed this journey into Norse myth, subscribe for more stories of gods, giants, and ancient legends. The Old North still whispers.